You know, my wife was 58 years old when she passed away, and it's been a little over 5 years now. And a lot of people ask me, why? Why did she go down this road? What were the events that took place to get her to the point where she passed away at such an early age? And if you think about it, I mean, she lost like the average alcoholic loses about a third of their natural life compared to the rest of the population and their life expectancy. Life expectancy for women is around 81. And that's pretty average. She fit in the line. Women live between 53 and 58 if they've been drinking all of their adult life. But why? Why did she go down this road? And I think, like a lot of people, I mean, she did have a genetic disposition. She had her grandmother passed away from it. She had I guess a horrible ending long before I was in the picture. But there's two genes, ADH1B and ALDH2, which can give someone a genetic disposition. I mean, they've actually been able to isolate two genes that if you grow up in a certain environment, there's a higher chance and a higher probability that you're going to have a problem later in life. And she had all of these. It was really the perfect storm. And I talk about this because it relates to so many people. She grew up in a family culture. I mean, not to take anything away from their family. They were a very nice family, but I mean, they all drank wine, and it was very normalized. When I first met them, they drank wine with dinner, for example. And it was a big part of when they got together. They all had Chardonnay, bottles were popping. I mean, later that was curbed away when they realized that there was a problem. But in the earlier days, that's how it started. I thought it was weird because I did not grow up in that culture and I didn't drink wine. And to this day, I can't even stand the smell of it because of what I've been through. But that's a big part of it. Hereditary disposition and growing up in a family culture. And I'll continue the conversation with a few more things that happened along the way. Now, this is a really important subject to talk about because in reality, almost anybody could potentially get caught into this web of alcohol use disorder given the right circumstances. So when I hear so many reactionary emotions from family members that have been through this, I mean, rightly so. I mean, they've been through a lot with their alcoholic family member, but there's a lot of reactionary emotions. Oh, it was their choice. They did this to us, and it was this horrible event that happened, without really dissecting what was going on and realize alcoholics are not bad people. It's not a character issue. Okay? It's a mental health disease. It's been characterized by the American Medical Association since 1956 as a mental health disease. It's a mental health disorder. It's an addiction. Okay? It's not a choice. Okay? Well, how did they take the first drink? Well, put it this way. Peer pressure. That's how it starts. That's not a 100% choice either. I mean, you're 16 years old, 17 years old, you're hanging out with your buddies, everybody's drinking. You would be weird and strange if you didn't fit into that crowd. And fitting in is a big part of your psychology when you're that age. And that's how it starts. And if you already have family culture and a predisposition, you've already started going down the road. And it's not 100% choice. We are the people that we hang out with, or the environment that we grow up in, and our genetic disposition is a big part of it. And how society views it. It's okay to drink, but just don't let it get out of hand. Well, that's not possible for everybody. And then a lot of people ask me if she had trauma. And yes, she did. She had some trauma when she was about 16. I really tell about it in her book, in the memoir, Amanda, A Cautionary Tale of Alcoholism. The thing is, a lot of it I save it for that because it's really kind of a private thing. I guess it's published now. It's not that private. But I don't get into it completely. But, I mean, she did have a boyfriend when she was 16. Her boyfriend was 19 at the time. And her parents, a little bit more involvement than that, but her parents made them break up. And they sent Amanda to an all-girls school. She lived in Southern California, and they sent her to Northern California to an all-girls school. And it really traumatized her. There's some other things that happened as well, needless to say. But they were, she was kind of shunned from her family. And I met her 14 years after this. And she was still very upset about it. I mean, she used to cry on my chest. I remember when in the early days, and just how traumatized she was from it. And it was more about being rejected it was more about rejection than anything. It was being rejected from her parents, who were kind of tough, and honestly, they were just being parents, but it was difficult for her. And I think it set her down a path, and maybe it was the excuse, or it was the catalyst that got her through the period in her life that caused her to drink more and more excessively. And by nature, I mean, she was a very rebellious youth. Later I talked to friends of hers that grew up, that went to school with her in that school, and they were very rebellious. And they drank heavily then. Things that I didn't know about until I found out even after her passing. But I mean, she had a very rebellious streak, and I think it was all part of I think what attracted her to me, because she was very outgoing and bubbly, and she enjoyed people and she enjoyed life. And I think that helped her to some extent, and I think it caused her a great deal of emotional strife in her life. So really, to wrap this up, a large part of my page, and this video, in fact, is really understanding that we need to have empathy for the alcoholic, and we have to have an understanding. Yes, there's a time for tough love. I get that. But we also have to have a better perspective of what that person's going through, as destructive and as dangerous as the situations that they sometimes put themselves in. We really need to step back as family members and as a society and look at it through different eyes, rather than reactionary eyes. We have to understand what that person's going through, because so many people have other issues. They could be bipolar or schizophrenia, ADHD, PTSD, and they're dealing with other things. We need to be less judgmental and have more empathy and a greater understanding of what's really going on with the alcoholic. Also, we really have to have an ability to bring it out of the closet rather than shove it in the closet and not have the ability to talk about this. And again, the book, Amanda, A Cautionary Tale of Alcoholism. You can buy it on this link. Go to my link tree. It goes right to my website. You can purchase it there, or go to Amazon in the U.S. Also, I go live Monday through Friday right around 6:30 Pacific Standard Time, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. The coaching program, again, link is in the link tree. Set up a breakthrough call. Takes about 45 minutes. We do a deep dive into what's going on with you and your family. The call is free. It's not a fact-finding mission, because I'm going to go over the coaching program with you. Call's free. The coaching program's definitely not. And you have to really be in a place where you're expecting to understand that and to move forward with the coaching program. And again, thanks so much for listening.